Andrew McGahan for the MacLife.com here in Dublin, Ireland, standing alongside Artem Lobov, awaiting a boxing session here in the brand new boxing facility. Artem, first of all, your take on that, because I think I want to know what everyone's reaction was when they walked in and seen it for the first time.
It was absolutely incredible, and it was very unexpected. You know, we didn't think that was going to be on the wall, but John had arranged for it to be done overnight. It was done very quickly. You know, the guys are very professional, and you can see, you know, they've done a great job. And of course, it's very inspirational, and it's great to see every day when you walk through the gym. You know, you see that picture on the wall, and you know, it reminds you, you know, what we're here for.
Does it seem a little bit surreal in the fact that you've been around Conor for a long time, so you would have heard the early visualization calls, and now you're actually seeing a physical visualization being put in place? You know, it seems like it's a natural progression, maybe, is what it's gone through during the years, instead of just sitting in a changing room, maybe in the helix, saying something like, I'm going to get into the UFC, lads. I'm going to knock out Eddie Alvarez in the first round, like he tweeted in 2013. But now we see this as a physical. Does that make sense? Do you know that it's kind of like a natural evolution of it?
Yeah, I guess, but to be honest, I don't get surprised with anything, you know, Conor says anymore. You know, I've learned my lesson. You know, every time I think, okay, he can't top that, and then he surpasses, you know, my expectation again. So now it seems like this is the pinnacle of combat, you know, sport. This is the pinnacle of combat competition, him versus Mayweather. But I guarantee you he'll get through Mayweather, and then there'll be an even bigger fight. You know, there'll be something else again. Conor just, you know, this is his thing. He doesn't stop to surprise everyone, including myself.
You said in an interview recently that you had been offered a fight by the UFC against Andre Fili around summertime, but this was bigger, you know, to be there for Conor, to help him with the training. After everything that has gone, I suppose, on in both of your careers up until this point, it seemed like it was a no-brainer for you to make that decision.
Yeah, and it also came at the time just when the fight was announced for Conor versus Mayweather, so you know, I knew I couldn't take the fight. I knew, you know, there's going to be so much work for this, and everyone is going to be needed. You know, the whole team. You know, we've done pretty well, you know, over the years. This has been the team, as we call it, the dream team. So we thought, you know, why change the formula? You know, this is exactly what works for us. So let's keep it that way. And to me, you know, finding Andre Fili, like I said before, I can fight him anytime. You know, this is nothing special for me. It's not a fight that I would go, oh my God, yeah, I must absolutely get that fight. Whereas Conor versus Mayweather is. So, you know, I felt that I was needed here, and everything else can wait.
It's not as if that you're not training in that period off. You are going to be training every day, and then maybe the transition back into mixed martial arts, it'll only take you, realistically, you could be looking to fight anywhere up to as soon as 4 weeks after August 26th, I suppose.
Easily, absolutely, and you know, I'm always learning new skills. Every camp that I've been in with Conor, I've came out the other end a much better fighter, even though it was his camp. You know, I still get the benefit of all the coaching that he gets. I get, you know, the benefit of the new cardio system that he applies, his diet. You know, I get to see the benefit from all of that as well. So, you know, it's great for me, someone just on the grind, on the way up, to benefit from this world champion, you know, camps time and time again. So I'm still improving, I'm still training, like you said. So
it seems now that the media is going to start taking a spike upwards from here on, with the World Tour happening next week. As someone who was in Dublin the day that Jose Aldo came over and has witnessed all of these World Tours, you went on the original one with Conor every step of the way. What do you envision from this? Because Floyd Mayweather has never been in such a hostile sort of territory. You know, he has never had people maybe speak as outwardly towards him as Conor may speak towards him, or have the type of fans that Conor will have in terms of ad venues that are just throwing abuse at him to begin with. Do you feel that that is a dynamic that he has no clue what he's getting into next week?
Yeah, to be honest with you, no one has a clue, you know, what he's getting in next week. You know, nobody knows how it's going to play out. I'm looking forward to it just like everybody else. He certainly has never ever been put in a situation like that before. I'm talking about Mayweather, of course. You know, he's never had this young lion at the top of his game, who is good inside as well as outside of the ring, come at him like Conor will, you know. So I'm very curious to see how he reacts, and I'm curious to see, you know, what Conor will do as well, and you know how Conor reacts to meeting Floyd as well, face to face. I'm curious to see how they look beside each other in terms of size advantage and all that. So I'm just like any other fan, you know. I'm really waiting that World Tour to see how it plays out.
Two very quick things before you go. One thing that a lot of people are saying that, oh, well, this is a specialised combat sport. This is all he has to do. It's going to be easy for Floyd. But I think that mixed martial arts fighters are rallying around a similar opinion that there is so much you have to have sharp to get ready for a mixed martial arts fight, whether it's wrestling, jiu-jitsu, punching, kicking, elbowing. But when you just have to take everything else away from that and just focus solely on your two fists, surely that's a lot easier for an MMA fighter to deal with when it comes to just getting ready for a fight. They're used to the purest form of combat. They're used to that sort of life or death situation. But now you just have to worry about hands.
Absolutely. It is a lot easier to go from MMA to boxing. It's impossible to go the other way around in short time anyway. You know, you would need years to become an MMA fighter. There are so many tools that we have to use, how to know how to use and how to defend against. So I feel that after August 26th, it will be Conor teaching the boxers how to fight, not the other way around.
And then finally, let's just go one day forward, August 27th. What are you expecting the reaction to be, the fallout from this? Because every time Conor has fought, the numbers have gotten bigger, the gates have gotten bigger, the pay-per-view views have gotten bigger, but this seems like it's going to be the pinnacle. But are you kind of, John Kavanagh put up something on Twitter the other day that he's looking forward to the day after when Twitter melts down, but from your point of view, what do you think is going to happen?
Exactly that, the Twitter meltdown. You know, for us, obviously, we're already expecting the result, but, you know, it seems that, you know, the world doesn't believe that it can be done. Well, it has been done. You know, Conor has done things that people thought weren't, you know, possible, and he will do that again. So I don't really know what the reaction will be. You know, we just know that we're going to be happy and, you know, we're going to be celebrating.
Excellent. Artem Lobov, thank you very much. See you soon.